Mesdames et Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, the Dean gave me 5 minutes to say a few words to you and I'll try to respect this. Hello, Mr. Larsen. A very famous physicist once said, everything in life is relative. I would like to extend this by saying, everything in life is relative, even in an MBA. Let me explain this. No doubt that we are proud of our new title. We've been working hard for a year, some of us many years, to obtain these 3 letters, MBA. After being glued to our books and locked up in our little students' rooms for a long period, we expected the world to receive us with open arms. At least I did. Oh boy, was I wrong. Let me tell you what happened during the job interviews I had recently. Naturellement, I started in France. After explaining my work experience to the interviewer, I proudly concluded to just have finished an MBA study. Ah oui, the man said with a voice full of skepticism. Ça c'est un diplôme américain, n'est-ce pas? That's an American diploma, isn't it? His face had an expression as if I had just forced him to drink Coca-Cola instead of wine with his dinner. In Germany, I encountered the same reaction. However, the interviewer did not mind as much where the title came from, as well as about its usefulness. Wunderbar, wunderbar, aber ich hoffe, dass Sie auch ein wirkliches Fach gelernt haben. I hope that you also learned a real profession. Fortunately, I also have a degree in computing science, so I was able to satisfy him. But still. Finally, in the Netherlands, I found out that the Dutch already have reserved the word MBA for another study, a certificate saying gerechtigd tot het voeren van bedrijfsadministratie van middelgrote ondernemingen. Something like doing bookkeeping in medium-sized companies. Of course, after some explanation it became clear, but until then it's all relative. And so is time. It seems I'm exceeding my 5 minutes, so please allow me for a small adjustment. Sorry, Mark. Well, the examples of the countries bring me to another challenge, namely the cultural diversity in Europe. Although many of us have heard about it, only few of us realize its impact. I will not go in details now, but I would like to stress the importance of institutes like the European University in order to enforce a breakthrough in cross-cultural thinking and acceptance. It was here where we got to see that the way to establish one Europe is a long one, but inevitable. All of us face this when trying to deal with la préfecture de police and on a larger scale the struggles to create the European Monetary Union. Being confronted with this, I started to wonder if there would be a way to avoid all this misunderstanding. And I think I found the answer. What we should do is create the perfect European. But what is the perfect European? Well, the perfect European is someone who cooks like the British, someone who is controlled like an Italian, someone who is driving like the French, someone who is organized as the Greeks, or someone who is available as the Belgians, and someone who is discreet like the Danish, and someone who is generous as the Dutch. I presented this speech to you for free, you know. Of course, these are stereotypes. And from my colleague students, I learned that these stereotypes are rarely true. Let me relate. Thank you, Marie-Ève, for showing that the French are able to speak English without an accent. Thank you, Stephanos, for showing that ancient Greek maturity is still alive. And thank you for showing that having parents from 2 countries is an asset. And thank you, Alain, for showing that one is never too old to learn. Unfortunately, we also had many people from other continents in our class to show us that the world is much larger than only Europe. Thank you, Priyanka, Bhupesh and Khalid, for confirming that people from India are so tremendously correct. Thank you, Samer, Fadi and Elham, for presenting the cultural variety that exists in Lebanon. Thank you, Niam and Elizabeth, for showing the true American talent in public speaking. And thank you, Wei, for demonstrating how dedicated the Chinese are in obtaining their goals. Thank you all, also those that I could not mention, since our professors taught us that a speech should not exceed one piece of paper, which means I have to wrap up. So, a final note on what is ahead of us. Being future managers, leaders, entrepreneurs, I'm sure you will make a contribution to a better world. With Marie-Ève and Gustavo, I wrote a paper on the possibilities of electric cars. Some of you know I wrote my final thesis, the capstone project, in HTML. HTML allowed me to write a story you need to read on a computer, where you, as a reader, can take decisions while reading. And those decisions can change the outcome of the story. This demonstrates how I believe that the internet after the year 2000, only 3 years from now, will become a large part of our daily life. We just do not know how. I also guess that mobile phones, artificial intelligence and e-learning will play a large role in business and society. Perhaps Back to the Future will become a reality one day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. It is me that has been speaking, but I hope to have represented some ideas of our school and my fellow students. Finally, I want to thank our parents, relatives, spouses and friends that brought us up to here and that have been supporting us to get here where we are today. Thank you and have a great future.